Hello, Judy here from Thistledew Creations. Today I felt like doing some more Irish themed stuff, and I have this little card that I did a couple of years ago. I printed out these the wearing of the green girls and put them onto some sort of cardstock. And today I thought I would do a little scrappy notebook with her. And I pulled out some beige papers and some green papers, and I have this green velvet, like that is a sticker. I guess you would use it to line the inside of a jewelry box or something like that. So I thought I'd use that maybe across the top and maybe as a tab. And so first thing I want to do is ink these edges. They're kind of faux inked in green. I wanted to add vintage photo around the edges because in some places you can see like white from the backing paper. So that just camouflages that, makes it a little more cohesive. And I will go ahead and ink onto the back side as well. I think it really helps to get that edge completely covered. I'm going to try to keep my thumb out of the way today because I have to go to work later. I don't really want brown fingernails. Okay, so that's going to be my cover, and then I've got to decide how I want this to be, whether I want a book that opens sideways or a top. I think I'm going to do top because I had the idea of the tab at the top. So it's going to be just like a little scrappy paper pad that you can stick in a journal. So I like to have ripped edges on things like this. So I'm going to just start kind of seeing what I have as far as sizes. I'm going to leave this bottom edge scruffy like that. I'm not going to do anything with the top yet because I don't know how I'm going to, I think I'm going to staple this actually. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that top off. I think I'm going to staple and then add the green top, and then I'll pick something solid-ish for the back. I've got this which had a fair bit of green in it, but I don't think that's quite right for the back. I also have this piece of cardboard from like a cereal box or something that I have a couple of book pages on. It says Latin, so I don't know that that's right either. This is a bit of a cardstock feel, but I think I'm gonna just kind of tear this, straighten it up and tear the edges, and this will just, I think, just be a page. Leave that top edge square. I got this in with a bunch of scrapbook paper. Someone had done some stamping on it for a happy birthday thing, but I don't need that part. I think I'm going to use it this way. Okay, so that, and then we'll just layer these up. I'm probably going to go from large to small, and then I want a lot of them hanging down below her like ruffles almost. And I want to interject some green in there. I do want to leave the green facing out, even though it's going to be hard to write on. You could draw on it. You could write on this with a black marker or a pen and see what you've written. Really, this new ruler of mine is tricky because I tend to hold it here and I need to hold it there to really get these cuts done well, these tears. And I do prefer a torn edge. I know they don't all have to be torn. I'm leaving this one straight. This one is already folded, but I think I'll leave it. Actually, by the time I tear off some edges. Let me get this one over here out of the way. Yeah, that's better. Just getting in the groove here. There's a little patterned piece. And because I've got the black and white in there, the black and tan buffalo check, I think I'd like to include this little pattern piece as well. Oh. Coffee dyed paper can be just a little bit fragile. Note to self. I do want to take some edges off of this. This one tears nicely. It's very thin paper. I'm not keeping these strips today. I've got a little piece of, that's quite cardstock. Set that aside for a minute. Piece of seashell wallpaper border. And the seashells do remind me of Ireland. My mother-in-law grew up in Galway, right on the coast. So that, to me, fits the theme. And you can write on the back. And that's looking nice and scrappy. Now I've also got these books or book pages that have a fairly large blank section on them. It was a French English something or other. I think I got it as Happy Mail. So I'm gonna leave the bottom few lines. Or it would be the top few, will end up being the top few lines. And the other thing I can do is some really long pages that fold up. Oh, this one's already got a nice natural tear. I think I'll leave that if I can. Maybe what I'll do is fold this over. And try to avoid getting it with the staples. And then if I have a long one that I can fold up, this is a good candidate. I'll fold this one up, even though that gives me a square edge at the bottom. It just adds some interest. You can fold it down. I might need to find some more long paper. This another book page that has a little bit of writing at the top. I can do that same trick and fold this in. Just gotta keep that out. Actually, what I can do is I can angle that top so that it doesn't catch the staple that I put. And I'll do that on this other one too, just in case. And then this one will go on the other side. I'll probably play around with the order of them. I'm just kind of roughly getting them stacked in there right now. And then I have this picture of a sailboat. I believe this is an iron-on pattern, like that you would put this, iron this onto like a pillowcase or something, and then do the embroidery, or sometimes you would use those paint pens on them back in the, I'm gonna say back in the 70s. So again, that seaside theme. So that's looking pretty good and scrappy. I need some, I want some edges out each side of her and all around her. So, and then I just want a little more green in there. So I'm going to put this piece in. And I'm going to put it white side facing forward, but the green folded up. And then I have little bits of green ledger that's coffee dyed that I can glue onto some spots if I want to. Book pages. And then I wouldn't mind a bit of music. Maybe I'll use this music paper as the back sheet. It's actually not quite long enough though. I just like to have a firm back on my notepad so that it'll go into a journal easily. Now here's one that I've got. It's a stickers page. And I could use this and collage up here because this has got like a green watercolor on it. And then I can collage on the back too with some different, just to cover this up. Put my own flair on it. So that could be my backing. And then if I just start layering up my papers, I'm gonna staple right about here. So I need them to come up to like here. And I'll bring this one over close to this edge. And just because it's gonna hang down, I'll trim it off. Once you've decided what your backing is gonna be, then you'll know for sure what length you want your papers to be. It just happened to be sitting in front of me in my little scrap thing. I kind of like the watercolor that I did on it. And this page, actually I'm going to put this one next. And I'll actually deco the bottom edge. I'm just gonna give this a dab so it doesn't keep wiggling around on me. Dab of glue. I want this one up just a little bit so that you can see the two different layers of paper. I like that feeling of there's something more to see. So that just needs to come, just trim down just a bit. I do it at the top because it's hard to trim off that small amount with the tear ruler. So we'll go with that. And then this page, refold it up a little bit. Actually, maybe I'll use this the other way around so that that gives some interest there. Again, just a dab of that. I don't always do that, but it just came to me that that would be a good way to hold them in place for a minute. And then this would be a good spot for me to do a little collage. It's a little place to put something. I'm going to put a little piece of this green ledger. And then I can put something else Irish, maybe a little shamrock sticker or something. I don't have a lot of St. Paddy's Day things to play with. I do have these body glitter stickers. So I think I'll just use a green. Oops, they're a little bit brittle. Oh, they're very brittle. These must be oldies. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera. You're not seeing what I'm talking about. Yeah, they're not going to work. In the bin. Instead, I will use a little piece of this gold chiffon layered edge ribbon and just layer that on there. I want it to be fairly glued down, so I'm going to put a fairly big squiggle of glue. And then when I'm done making the pad, I will come back and put something else, maybe a metal charm or something, a little Celtic link or something. But just to show you that those little flaps that are going to be folded up can be decorated, make them have sort of a purpose. It doesn't want to lay down, but it will. And then I think I need a couple more longer pieces. I need something that comes down to about here. I do have this piece. And I can decal the bottom edge at least. I want it to come up here. I could have folded it up, but I'm wanting some more of that deckled edge. And that one has, it's a modern invoice from work, but it's not really going to be visible. I know some of them I've said you can write on the back, and certainly you could, but I just want this to be nicely layered. Oh, I've got this really cool handmade paper. Let's see if any of these are long enough now to, yeah, that one's long enough. So I want that to come up a bit. Actually, I'll decal the bottom edge of this. And whenever you can't get a decal on, you could always do a little bit of flat lace or ruffly lace if that's your style. I'm not real big on the ruffly, poofy book edges and so on. So that one's going to go kind of more central because I got to make sure that the staple catches it. Very fragile paper. And I think we're good with what we've got here now. We've got the I'm just going to make that not quite so wide. No, I'm going to leave it wide. Executive decision. And then we have this piece of book page. And we can start to stagger in a little bit again. I'm going to be hard pressed to staple all of this, so I'm going to have to be careful. I might end up having to sew. And then this, I can sort of tuck this in. And sewing is an option with the sewing machine or by hand. I might do by hand. And this one's too long, but I could fold it up. I know what I'll do. I'm going to go like this so that I get that bottom edge deckled, but I get that extra length to journal on. Just fold a zigzag. And you'll notice I'm leaving that, all these edges exposed, so I'm stepping it in a little each time. I'm not doing it completely, you know, in order. This one comes down a little further. I like that. I like that randomness, that little bit of randomness. Now another, well, this is that long green one. So I could do the same thing with it. I can do a zigzag, use that same fold that I already made. So that it doesn't hang down and kind of ruin this waterfall effect that I've got going on. And then this green, I'm just going to cover it up, but I think I'm okay with that. I'm liking the way it might be a little wide. Again, it's hard to tear off just a little bit, but I'm going to give it a try. The other thing you can do is grab your scissors that do a deckled edge. I do have a good pair of those, but I'm managing. You just got to take it a little bit at a time to get that. And then I've got a white edge there, so I'm going to ink that. And I may go back and ink all the edges, but I definitely want to ink this one just a bit. I didn't bother to ink all the edges while I'm putting it together for you because I don't want this video to take all day. Okay, so I've got this edge showing, I've got the square edge underneath it showing. I'm going to glue that little flap down. And that would be another place that I could put a little something, decorate it a bit. Just unexpected places. So you see how I go up, 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 down, down, and I'm moving towards this side. And then the next one I think I'm going to try, well, I got to wrap this up soon if I don't want it to get too involved. There. I really want to include this. And I think I want that uneven edge. Maybe I don't. Maybe I just want this. Yeah, I just want that. So I will cut this off. Doesn't need to be deckled because I'm going to have this covered. Let's cut that off there. Skinny page. I don't have any of the other ones going all wonky like that, so I think I'll use this edge. I can do another one where all the edges are really jagged, but I don't like to include just one of those. If I'm going to do it, I want to do them all, kind of thing. So this can be just hidden underneath her. Yeah, so there's our little scrappy pad, quite a few pieces of paper. And then we'll try stapling. And I always staple so that the open part of the staple is at the front and the closed part is at the back so that it doesn't get caught on anything, because I'm going to cover up the front part anyway. Actually, she is going to need a bit of an extender for me to make that happen. Maybe this little piece of that's a bit too wide. Just use a piece of this. It's about the same width as her. Just folding that over, and I'm going to give it a decorative bottom edge just so that I can leave it exposed a little bit. Those are just zigzags. I suppose that would work just fine. I'm going to ink this with my green ink. It's not too far off of the background color. I can ink it up a little bit with Vintage Photo to make it match a little better. And then I think I've got enough green ink left on this to do that. I'm not sure, I don't think that's going to show, but I'm going to do it anyway. And just in case that shows. So I'm going to just glue that on there to give her a little bit more height above her hat. I don't want to lose her hat. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue right along that green edge at the top, and right along the top at the back as well. And put that on there, trying to keep her hat exposed. There. It's not catching by much, but the glue will do the job. It's not very straight. And then she'll go right here. And again, I'm going to glue it this way, or staple it this way. Kind of just centering my stapler on the hole in the card and going just below it. And it did go all the way through and close, so that's good. I better put a couple more, one on each side. And that'll keep all of the pages pretty firmly attached. That staple is just on the edge, so I want to just make sure it stays. I just barely got her in there. I'm wondering if I should put more staples another row further down. I'm going to have to embellish the back here. I'm going to go there and there. There, that's a little better. Make sure I catch all the pages. And then I've got this green velvet, and you could use any kind of paper covering, but I just happen to have this. I thought it would be a nice touch. I think this piece is big enough, and I'll use the zigzag scissors if it will cut them. It's kind of fabric and it's a sticker. I think it's the sticker that's actually allowing me to cut it. Sticker part. And I probably, even though it's a sticker, it's pretty old, so I think I'm going to use glue with it. I was thinking, just like this. So I think just to make it a little pretty, I want to put some lace coming out from behind this. So let's see. Oh, I've got some nice flat lace here. It's kind of greenish taupe, so I might ink it. So if I'm going to put this right on there, you're not going to see those yellow bits. They'll be gone. Yeah, and then maybe I can use a piece of something else to come underneath that and fold around the back to here. Maybe this green card. If I leave that little bit exposed, that little zigzag exposed, this is the width I need it. And then if I fold it like so, and this can all be glued on, you see, and it'll be covering up those staples on the back, even though I did them so they wouldn't catch. So I'll glue that first, Actually, I'm going to ink it. And I think I better just round the corners. I don't think I'll be happy with it unless I do. I don't really have corners rounded on anything else, but I just know myself I will like it better if I round those corners a bit. So vintage photo on that light green looks nice. Glue this on. I'm using quite a bit of glue, and I'm going to clamp it for a few minutes. Find my lid. So that is going to help me make this look straighter. You're getting rid of that angled top edge on that beige piece I wasn't 100% happy with. Now you see how my staples are coming through there. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to cover that up as well. So it doesn't feel like it needs to be clamped. So I'm going to leave this up a fair bit. Just set it into this. And put some down here too. And where that's sticking over, I can cut that off later. Cut it flush. Time for some sharpening on my scissors. Now this, I don't want to cover zigzags, so it's not going to show as much, but I just want that bottom edge there. And again, like I said, I can nip those edges off. This I might need to resize now. Just a little bit shorter this way. Not a very good zigzag there. That could be even a little shorter and straighter while I'm at it. Like that. And then I think I'm going to bring it in on each side, so about here. And then if I've got some sort of a Celtic link or Tree of Life, I think I have Tree of Life here in front of me. Actually still pretty sticky, but I'm going to glue it anyway. A little bit of glue on it there. Be careful of that. And then in my little trinket tray here, I've got a pair of earrings that is Tree of Life. And they were silver, but they've really oxidized. And I do have jewelry pliers somewhere handy, but I'm just going to twist it off of this. I could use it more as a dangle, but I don't want to. I just want to use it as a embellishment. So to do that, take some jewelry pliers. Oops, want my tape. Take some jewelry pliers and take this charm hole off. It's really not hard to get them off. And then take an emery board or a metal file, one or the other, and just take those sharp edges off. I keep some fairly coarse emery boards just for this purpose. And then for those, I usually put them on with 3-in-1 glue, which I think I have some somewhere here. In my traveling box. But I don't think I want just that. I think I need something underneath it. So let's put some more of this paper underneath it. Actually, it's a little bit big. This will tear fairly straight. So let's just do that. I wonder if I've got like a green ticket or tag that I could combine with this little ensemble. I've got my ticket box right here. Beer and liquor. Some green ones, but they're pretty big. I've got a small green one here. What does it say? 40. Paris Cinema. Oh, got another little girl. You always forget what you have in your little boxes. To go through them every once in a while. Labels. Oh, and I've got green buttons out too. There's a label. I'm just wanting sort of lots of different textures and colors of green and shapes. That's a lot, probably. A lot more than I need. So let's see here. Started off with the idea of this piece, which I do like the coloring. So let's keep it in the mix. Have it sticking up over here. And then I'm gonna tear an edge and ink it on this piece. I can build a little cluster here. Actually, this a piece of brown paper bag, so it's not all green. I'm thinking that I'll ink that with the green. for one reason, the vintage photo would likely not show up on it very well. That can be over here. Maybe like that. This can be over here, and then this can be coming in towards the middle. And that can be going out this way with this little guy here and this guy here. I think that'll do, or might need to tighten it up in the middle here. Okay, so this guy goes down. This guy goes down. Tighten it up in the middle just a bit. This guy goes down. These little 40 tag I got out of a piece of scrapbook paper. It was just like a masterboard of them, and I just cut them all up into little pieces. I thought of the absurdity as I was doing it, of then taking all those little tags that I cut up and making a masterboard with them. It's like the insanity. You go around in circles with your ideas. And this is like a trademark thing, just slightly green. So I'm going to put it up here. And then my circle thing will be pretty much center. I'm not crazy about that open space, but I think I'm going to leave it. I could maybe slip another piece of brown paper in there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Said I'm going to leave it, but I can't leave it. The 3-in-1, just because it's going on that fabric. The fabric's going to absorb that glue quite a bit. I got to give that time to dry, but I'm quite happy with that. Little scrappy Irish wearing of the green, and then, oh, it fell off. I didn't use this one. I guess I could use this one over here. What does it say? Postcard? Oh, it's printed in reverse, carte postale. A lot of the stuff from Temu is printed in reverse. Drives me crazy, but someone's not proofreading, and if they are, they don't know what they're looking at. And that needs more, I think. It's cool in here. I mentioned that before. In the summer, this stuff dries a lot faster. Up there. So just a little collage along the top. I just can't help myself. And then, like I said, there's a couple spots down in here. I might put another little girl down here. She's really cute. She's like the mini me. Of the one on the cover. If I had a little pocket, I could just tuck her in a pocket, couldn't I? Where would I put a pocket? With this little setup? Just make a little tuck spot. You can just keep going and going with your decorating. It's so much fun. But the part you kind of have to concentrate a bit on, at least I do, is getting these edges staggered the way you like them on the papers. There. And then I could put something else right here, couldn't I? Needs just a little something. Don't have any music yet. I could put some music on the front of that, but I don't want it to get too bulky. So I'm going to leave it. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing that process. Now I've got this backer from the body stickers that I can do the same thing with it. So I will save it out, and the next time I'm watercoloring, I'll do some watercolor on there. In this case, I would try to use these shamrocks. So maybe I'll do another one and try to use the shamrocks and not cover them up. But I do like the way this turned out. Let's see if I can ink that lace. It might need to dry first, everything. But I'm happy with my little notepad, my little scrappy notepad with a little surprise at the back. So thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do check out my other notebook projects. I've got a playlist of notebooks and a playlist of junk journals. So I call this a notebook instead of a junk journal. So hope you'll join me on my channel, and like, comment, share, subscribe. Most of all, have a great day. Happy crafting.